I'm reading another book by John Perkins, who's the author of Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Um, so in this book, he was describing um, an example where executives do care, executives of corporations do care about the future of this earth, and they have a consideration towards it because they realize that their children are going to have to deal with it. So the example that he's giving, um, there is a activist group called Rainforest Action Network. So Rainforest Action Network went up against Mitsubishi at one point. So they fought Mitsubishi quite heavily to stop their practices. So the leader of Rainforest Action Network and Mitsubishi ended up meeting at a party at one point, and John Perkins is there, so he's just narrating it. So at one point, John Perkins just wants to talk to the leader of RAN, and he invites him to a hot tub. And as they get to the hot tub, the Mitsubishi director is already sitting there, sitting in the hot tub. So Mitsubishi's director kind of invites them in. They have beers, and then like John Perkins is describing a awkward scenario. He says like I feel awkward during this. So at one point, the Mitsubishi director kind of comes out and says, "Thank you for kind of uh, protesting against us, because many executives do want to see this, but we have to answer to our board of directors, and our board of directors are there for our stockholders. So therefore, they have to answer to money, meaning they have to answer to the board of directors, which are there to make as much money as possible, so the stock prices go up, so the stockholders are happy." So he's saying that because they have to answer to the game of money, the game of profit, that is why their practices were as such. And for Rand's activism, he was grateful for it because he knew what he was doing. So within that, they had to answer to capitalism. They had to answer to making as much capital as possible. So further on in the book, he is quoting somebody who's saying that I'm still a capitalist. We just have to rework the way that corporations are run. But within the RAN and Mitsubishi example, it is showing that capitalism is the problem. It is showing that the greed is the problem. It is showing that the possibility for unlimited wealth is the problem, and unlimited wealth and unlimited gain of capital is capitalism. So he was saying that many executives do want to see a change within their corporations, yet they have to answer to their board of directors, and their board of directors do things or direct things in the manner that is best for the stockholders, which is making as much money as possible, which is capitalism in itself, and which leads to cutbacks in safety, in best practices. Basically, they'll cut back at so many levels just so that they can make an extra dollar. So, given that example, capitalism is the issue, because without the board of directors sitting there saying you have to do things this way in order to make the stock prices go up and thus make more money, the problem of deforestation won't exist. The fact that it is possible to make as much capital as possible is the problem, and that is capitalism. The fact that it is possible means that they'll cut corners on so many levels just to make that extra dollar. So, but it's not seen by John Perkins, because he's narrating further in the book as well that that one quote of corporations aren't the problem, it's the way that they're acting. He says that that sticks with him. He says that that influenced him heavily. But he's failing to see that capitalism is the problem. In that one example between Rand and Mitsubishi, it's showing that the executives do realize what they're doing, that many people realize what they're doing, yet they have to answer to the board of directors, which are there for money purposes. Therefore, they have to answer to the system of capitalism. So in essence, capitalism is the issue in this scenario. Capitalism is the issue within the greed of man, within deforestation, within pollution, within so many issues in this world. Therefore, it takes a new system to stop the greed of man. It takes a system that doesn't support greed to stop the greed of man. So yes, that is what I wanted to share, and how in those examples capitalism shows itself to be the problem. Yeah, there will be a link to equal money, the equal money system, in the description box. Thank you.